We're not casting demons out of these corrupt politicians. We're letting them get away with their demonic ways.
The Lord opened my eyes to see the demons.
These demons took on shapes and forms of lizards and animals in the White House. Listen, we have the new End Times DVD. It investigates End Times investigation. I have a lot of my friends on here, Lisa Haven, Michael Lake. I have Josh Peck, L.A. Marzulli, Stephen Bancrofts. I mean, 8 hours of me investigating things like Satanism and demonic powers, Illuminati, New World Order, Antichrist, One World Religion, End Times Miracles, Bible prophecy. Folks, let me tell you something. One day, what you're watching us on right now, it's called television, it's called social media, it's called the internet. They're going to turn that baby off. You need a hard asset. When all this stuff gets shut off, this is what you're going to be able to learn from and to understand. So I want you to text the word chosen to 91999, the word chosen to 91999. And we're talking politics tonight, but from a spiritual point of view. You ever notice that some of these politicians they're delusional? It seems like, especially on the left, they hate certain ones on the right. Now, not all, because there's many on the right that are really in bed with the left. Okay, they're corrupt. They stink to high heaven. Well, I hope not to high heaven, because I don't want them up in high heaven till they change their evil ways. You know, and this is a spiritual condition. These are demons talking. This is why we have to deal with it on a spiritual level. We have to cast these demons out. And I talked about the portals. You go in, you take your position as a senator, House of Representatives, Congress, whatever, and you've got a position in a portal. You cleanse that portal. You start small, then you expand out. You don't go in and try to take on the whole world. You'll get crushed. Okay, so this is with anything, whether you're casting demons out of your home, out of your or out of Hollywood, or out of Washington, D.C., or out of any political arena. You start with yourself, then you start small, and then you work your way out. God will show you. He'll give you the instructions. Now, every once in a while, you'll run into someone that has a demon. You've got to deal with it, okay? And you'll cast that demon out. You'll rid that demon. The problem is we're not casting demons out of these corrupt politicians. We're letting them get away with their demonic ways. Somebody needs to stand up and start casting Satan out and stop trying to have debates. Matter of fact, they should stop having debates and just sit there and start casting demons out. I'm going to ask Joe Ray that. Joe, are you with me? I just had this brilliant idea. Are you out there?
I'm here.
Why don't we stop having debates and just get up and start having spiritual battles and start casting demons out? The politician who's godly politician is going to start casting demons out of the corrupt politician. I'm being a little bit facetious, but shouldn't we approach this from a spiritual standpoint before we try to jump into the flesh arena?
Well, yeah, I think so. But I think that part of the challenge is that there's not enough people, and I'll include myself in that are not prayed up, fasted up. As Jesus said, these kind are only cast out through prayer and fasting. You can't just, it would be like going, so I'm literally just getting this picture as I'm talking. So for me, it's kind of fun. It's like if I were to walk into a boxing arena or a mixed martial arts arena with no training, I'm going to get my butt whipped.
Yeah.
Right. So we have not buffeted ourselves. We've not prepared ourselves, and not everybody is called to do that. Not everybody's called. I mean, I can't imagine anybody being called to go into the boxing arena, but people can't imagine going to the political arena. So it's probably the same thing. Not everybody's called to do that, to cast out demons, to do that. There's other parts of the body has, right? So those people that know that's their calling, then they need to don't just step into it, jump into it, and get after it.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. And we talked about this a little bit. I noticed how people hate hate Trump. Now, there's
Mhm.
things about Trump that come see, come saw. I don't, I got many other things to think about. I can't think about the way he combs his hair, about some of the outlandish things that he says, although I think they're pretty funny, right? But I'm talking, there are people, Joe Ray, that spew venom when they. I mean, it's not logical. It's got to be spiritual.
Yes.
Whether you like him or not, these people lose control and they just start shaking. I hate Trump, and they don't give you an answer. They will never give you an answer because it's not logic.
Yeah.
The amount of hate they have. Do you experience that?
Well, I have, and year and a half or so. Well, God, probably 2 years. Time flies. When President Trump was in London, and they were having some protests against him being there, and they had the baby blimp. It was really interesting. I happened to catch a clip of this protest walking down the street in London. I'd never seen this before, so I was a little blown away, I guess. But the Lord opened my eyes to see the demons straight out saw them. I went, whoa, that was crazy. Their heads were not people. They were straight out demons. I mean, there were lizards, there were dragons, so I immediately contacted a friend of mine who lived in just outside London at the time. Now he's in Scotland, and asked him if he had seen that clip, and asked him if he saw what I saw, and he did. Blew me away.
Wow. Now, was this at a political rally?
No, this was people protesting in London, walking down the street in London, and anti-Trump, because he was visiting in the UK. And yeah, it was whoa.
And you saw, you in the physical saw demons.
Yes.
Okay. And these demons took on shapes and forms of lizards and animals, reptilian, right?
Yes, yes. And Anna Ryan just posted on the chat that she saw it too.
Wow. Because we're talking about Nephilim, and I don't want to, because you and I haven't talked about this, but I talk about it a lot. Mm-hmm. I believe there's also Nephilim in the White House. And when I say White House, I mean in the government, in the political arena. These Nephilim are when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they birthed these Nephilim. Talking about Genesis 6, I believe they're walking the face of the earth. What you could have seen could have been some Nephilim, because you talked about reptilians. Yeah,
very, very easily could have been.
And unfortunately, the UK has been hijacked by demonic forces, and it's it's very sad. Sometimes it can sound like a cop-out, but I'm telling you, I've experienced firsthand. You see, when you get down to nothing and no hope, and you've tried everything, I go to God in prayer. Prayer is the most powerful. It changes things. I've just seen miracles happen. I've seen it happen in my family. And if you can change my family, Joe Ray, you can change any politician. Let me tell you, generational curses, right?
Absolutely.
We got to pray. We've got to pray, and we got to be specific in our prayer. We've got to ask God to come back in, take control. He will do this. Now, if you read scripture, and this is one thing I want to bring into it, you'll see that there will be persecution. You'll see that times, read Matthew 24, okay? However, persecution doesn't mean defeat. It just means someone coming against you, okay? So in the midst of this persecution, do you believe that there's going to be people like yourself in politics that are going to rise up, and I'm going to even say Trump-like, I'm not going to say exactly, but that are willing to say things that are bold, they're willing to defend God and not worry about defending man? Do you think we're going to see a group of people that love God and they stand on God in Washington?
I believe so, David, and I've actually been praying for that after God called me into this arena, and I started getting into it deeper. That's been my prayer over these years, is because I know that there's other people that are like me that God has called, and they have a level of fear, level of unknown. Oh, I don't know how to raise money. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Oh, I don't know if I can speak in front of people. I don't know. Look, if God has called you into this, I pray boldness for you, that he gives to you what he gave to me, and you just you don't just step out of the boat, you jump out of the boat. And you don't go walking across the water, you go running with Jesus. He's got it covered. And when we stand up, I mean, hey, to live as Christ, to die is gain. If God can be for me, who can be against me? We stand up these things. And when people see that there are people like me, people like Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, the guy doesn't care what people think. I don't care what man thinks. I care about what God has called me to do.
Wow, that's awesome. Who knows, one day when there's an inauguration and a president gets up to speak, instead of that, he might start speaking in tongues. You never know.
Would that be awesome? It will be awesome to have our president get up there and start praying over our nation in tongues. Hallelujah.
You'll see demons jump the boat. They'll be gone. You won't be able to find some of those people.
I hope I portrayed enough to see, it's evil. And I'll be quite frank. I don't like Fauci. I don't like what he talks about. He's flip-flop Fauci. I'll just call him what it is. He's been back and forth with a lot of stuff. With what you're playing in The Last Evangelist, I think it really paints a picture of where we're headed. I think some of the stuff that you portray in that particular series is absolutely some of the stuff we're going to see in the near future.
All right. If you're interested in getting involved in Last Evangelist, our new TV series, which is coming out the first of the year, go to lastevangelist.com. You can sign the newsletter. You can even donate. And we do need your help. We really do. You can see on there the things you can do. You can special thanks. You can donate, get T-shirts, hats. You can come walk the red carpet. Hey, you can be in the movie. You can be associate producer. You could even be an executive producer. This is how we're bringing this truth to you guys. I'm not going to the studio. God said, go to my people. That's what I'm doing. Go to lastevangelist.com or text the word evangelist to 41444, or you can make that call to 844-806-0006. Hey, everybody. I am honored and blessed not to have just one new book out, but 2 new books. That's right, 2 new books. The first one is End Times Investigation. I deal with Hollywood mind control. I deal with demon portals, the alien-demon connection, astral projection, program multiples, satanic ritual abuse, and much, much more. The things that I talk about in Last Evangelist and on my shows, all my interviews I do, it's right here in this book, especially my life story. Also, True Power, how to access your true power in these last days, okay? It's a war manual for God's children. We need to learn the enemy's tactics and how to battle the enemy in these last days. Pick up a copy of this book. Just text the word chosen to 91999, or you can go to davidheavener.tv/order, or you can simply call 844-806-0006. We are David Heavener TV. And who is David Heavener TV? Well, we're television that tells the truth, a platform with no censorship. Why is that important? Because in these last days, as other platforms censor the truth, we stand for it. We have 10 channels of truth, and we're also carried on Roku, Apple, Amazon. 10 channels of truth. The End Times Prophecy channel, the End Times Podcast. We have the original TV series channel where we have our original programming. And if you missed the David Heavener Live, well, you can catch it here in the archives. We have a channel dedicated to The Last Evangelist, which you'll see exclusively on David Heavener TV. We have the Bible and Prayer channel, the Money channel, Health, Healing, and Testimonies, and Exposing Hollywood. We have over 675 original videos. Help us get the truth out. By supporting this ministry, you can go to davidheavener.tv and become a subscriber. And when you do, you'll become part of what we call the underground. It's a community that meets once a week. And we talk about things that the church refuses to talk about, and most social media platforms won't allow us to talk about them. So you sign up, you get a link, you click it, you go underground, you can ask questions, you can make comments, or you can just simply listen. Thank you so much. God bless you guys.